Hello, this is Chaff Commander Coffee, back with some more Dominions4, Thrones of Ascension, RandomNationGen as Saltnohamn. After uploading the first couple of videos of this Let's Play to YouTube, I noticed that the video quality was quite low. I believe my OBS had a few issues with the settings. It was something to do with when I was streaming For Honor. Yes, I stream For Honor. Don't get many people in the channel yet. Hopefully that changes over time, but hey ho. I should have fixed the issues with the settings now, so the quality should be back up, but we'll see. We'll see soon enough. Apologies if the lack of quality actually affected your viewing experience. I would like people to enjoy the videos, so that's why I'd prefer if the quality was good enough to watch every time. Anyway, let's get back to it. 3 battles, well in fact 4 battles to look at. Our scout appears to have viewed a battle, witnessed something going on, but this is our commander using our arrow bait skirmishers, which seems to be working. And they should draw, yep, drawing the arrow fire successfully away from my main horde of goblins. And the Goblin Sacred's doing a fair job on the barbarians there. Oh, I think the barbarian chief actually managed to get a kill, but he is swiftly cut down, and the barbarian archers engage in melee, trying to get in range of my spearmen over here, and are beaten to a pulp by the goblins. Simple, fairly, easy victory. We lost the swordsman. So yeah, by mixing the swordsman in with the sentinels, one of them died instead of the sentinels, so saved myself a bit of gold. Right, there was a battle in Nom. This is a Sulv. I suppose he's just nomming on whatever independents are here. There are some heavy cavalry, but it should be no problem. All the javelins miss. One heavy cavalryman manages to lance our dragon, which does very little. And the light cavalrymen get burnt as well. I'm just making, every time I click to bring this up, it's when he takes a hit. I just want to see if he gets an affliction or not. Although it's very unlikely that he will, whilst he's not taking very much damage. But it's always good to check, so. I think I need to set him back to attack closest, so he flies after things, rather than just running after them, trying to burn them with his dragonfire. And then we have our final expansion in Munace. Munace? I don't really know how you pronounce that. Munace. Hopefully the archers can cause a rout, because we're starting to run low on goblin infantry. Lost an arm. Yeah, well, it's unfortunate for that one. Bit of an archer battle going on right now. Hopefully my spearmen can hold just fine against the Lion Tribe javelins. They did get a few kills there, which is concerning. The archers seem to be doing a fine job of whittling their force down. This next load of javelins might be... oh, no, they didn't manage to hit very many. And it appears their archers are routing, and so are the infantry now. So the independents have routed. No problem. And I'm actually very surprised with the goblins. They're doing a fine job of expansion. And since we get the chance, we might as well have a little spy of the battle in Mir over here. So this is the nation of... oh, this is Rabia. A Morzanian or a Morzahian light swordsman, and Morzahian Morning Star infantry. These are the Avim, or the Avites, the Avite giants. So yes, these are also size 3 with stats that are, yep, comparable to my Colossi warriors. Very comparable, in fact. These light swordsmen here are almost exactly identical to my Colossi warriors. So the goblins might have quite a lot of trouble dealing with these giants. Anyway, let's continue. There's an Avim cavalryman. Heroic ability, tough skin, increased protection. He's not actually wearing that strong armor. It's decent medium armor, but nothing to be particularly worried about. I don't see anything too scary. There's nothing too scary here. Like, those giants they're quite powerful, but they're not wearing very much armor, so I feel archers will do a fine job taking them out. So if we do go to war with the Morzar, then archers will be the way forward. Alright. Now, the expansion is going fine. Mexco finally took this barbarian province here. We're now bordering this throne of ascension. Now, if there's no wizards here, I think my dragon could probably take that province. And an early throne of ascension wouldn't be a bad thing. It would boost my sacreds whilst we're still expanding. And increase my gem income. It's almost guaranteed. Well, I mean, it's not guaranteed, but there's a high chance for having gems income from here. Well, let's worry about the more pressing matters. Let's give my commanders orders. I want more scouts moving north. I actually want a scout to go over this crossing here, just to sit on this side of the river and just see what other nations decide to make their mark around this sort of zone of the map. So my Prophet's army. The entrance to the cave system is guarded by troglodytes, which they can be pretty dangerous. They're kind of like mini elephants, and I don't feel I have enough archers to deal with them right now. So we could further circle the army down south. I'm not sure if they have enough men really to continue for much longer. So they may have to return to reinforce back in Saltnohamn soon. I think Urgek Beast Brother is the only other mercenary. Now, whilst he is very cheap, his men are very weak. They're only really useful for arrow catching, which is in itself, useful. It's just I would need to combine him with another force because he would not be able to expand on his own. This force is fine to continue. I think I'll just send them straight against these deer tribe. They should have no problems against them. This commander who has the elephants, I'm going to give him the rest of the sacred goblins, just to give the elephants a bit of a morale pull, and set him at the back of the map, and give him some archers. 28 archers is quite a solid force actually. Certainly decent enough. Where do I want to send him? Good question. Probably south, towards Menace. Maybe the war elephants would do a fine job against the troglodytes, so that might be where I want to send him. Certainly moving to Menace is a good idea, because then he can at least conquer Pustinia. I will probably be sending the goblins to Witherland. I feel I want them to attack the smaller force, since they are dwindling in their powerful units. I think this is fine for expansion. I'm getting another 2 provinces, considering that the dragon should be able to take something. I could just fly across and take this. Not sure whether that's the best idea. It would block the throne off. I would effectively be blocking these Atlantians from expanding anywhere. But that would almost definitely provoke a war. I'm wondering if, since I have an awake god, if they don't have an awake god, I could just try and kill them. It might be worth it to just try and wipe them out now. Or if their god isn't awake, then my dragon should have absolutely no problem dealing with them. You know what? I think that's what I'm going to do. And with that decision, I think I'll move this commander north instead. Yes, I think that's a good idea. Alright, let's think about recruitment. Research still going into construction. Train another wizard. A low-level wizard. I'm going to boost the province defense here to 20, just to keep it nice and solid. Also, it will have a patrol strength, so it could catch scouts, which is always useful. I think what I want to do is, I may need more commanders, so I should think about recruiting some independent commanders around my capital. I think I should train one here. It will train in 1 turn, which is useful. And Epernia, and just Deer Tribe. The Deer Tribe Shaman, which is air magic, which would be useful, but it's very low chance. Very low chance. I'd have to train 10 of them to statistically get one of them with air magic, and it's not really worth. They're not really worth recruiting. In the grand scheme of things. Alright, let's think about the units I want to recruit. Let's get 10 more sacreds, and then we have 60 resources, so we could get 20 goblins. Unfortunately, I only have enough gold for 19, but it's almost enough. I think there's some more spearmen. We do seem to be dwindling on the spearmen. But I might recruit these spearmen with bows instead, because at least then they can fire a few volleys before they get into melee, and whilst the small bows are very weak damage, it's still piercing damage. And maybe some colossi. I could start filtering some colossi into the ranks. They're quite strong. Or just spam more archers. Spamming more archers always is a good idea. Our decisions. I think I'll train some more of the elite skirmishers to hold the front line, just to bulk the force up. And I'm going to train 4 Colossi warriors. And a few more of the Goblin Swordsmen. That should take up most of my treasury and give me a decent front line. Right, income is going up. Upkeep isn't going up very much, but obviously the goblins won't cost very much, man for man. And that should be the end of this turn. Let's just see, I missed 1 scout. I can't cross the river, so I suppose you can just keep going eastward. See what else you can find. And no one else I need to give commands to. Spend all my gold. Let's end this turn. A proclamation from Limor. Ernder, the unseen master, shall hereby be known as the prophet of Oskatu. There was a battle in Witherland. This was our slightly smallish goblin force, or it's certainly getting smaller. with our prophet, just trying to clear up a few more barbarians. Shouldn't be too difficult. However, oh dear, well, one of the goblins got killed with an arrow. Might have been a good idea to set my archers to fire at closest, given that the enemies are quite close to our ranks and they don't wear any armor. So we could have. Oh, we got the route anyway, so it's not a problem. This barbarian chief, though. Oh, he became crippled. If he wasn't crippled, then the fact that he enraged would have been very dangerous. He could have killed like maybe 3-4 of the goblins before he went down, and that's money that I can afford not to lose. So I should try not to. So fairly easy fight. We lost one elite skirmisher against a fairly small force. Barbarians or wolf tribe. There was a battle in Baladin. This is our dragon seizing the advantage and attacking Mexco whilst their forces are weak. It does appear like they have their prophet here. Oh dear. What are these units? Mexcoan Hoburg slave riders. And they have slave glamour. Hoburg glamour units. Well, Dragonfire doesn't care for glamour, so I suppose there's that. Oh dear, who are these? Bearkin of Ice from Mexco. Fairly, see if we can find an uninjured one. 28 hit points. Yeah, these are quite strong. What bless do they currently have? +2 to their defense skill, +2 magic resistance. Oh, we did pick up an affliction, weakened. That's not too bad. The dragon is so strong that weakened does very little to actually hinder it. Hope the dragon can clean up as many men as possible. Seems to be doing a good job of cleaning up all those Hoburgs. All these Hoburgs appear to have glamour, which is kind of worrying, because glamour is quite a powerful ability. So yes, we managed to kill 15 of their units. Quite expensive units, actually, the Atlantians. The Hoburg slaves, less so. And I mean, the barbarians, what, 13 gold each, so... Yeah, not... And these sacred units, which we killed all 3 of them, they're at 50 gold each. That was a decent victory. And I believe this was their prophet in the battle. He was casting Divine Blessing, so this appears to be their prophet. Level 4 mages. Level 4 mage. There was one more battle to view. This was our expansion force with the arrow lure. It's nice to showcase different strategies with the different expansion forces. It just goes to show that regardless of what your roster is made of, you can make good use of it with the correct strategies. I should be really adapting my strategies for each encounter. So against these deer tribe, this tactic works very well. But against other independents, it wouldn't actually work very effectively. But right now, it's doing just fine. Just fine. In fact, my sacred units seem to be mopping up these deer tribe with very little issue. Hopefully the deer tribe archers don't really score any no, they didn't. They didn't score any particularly good shots, so no casualties, I think. We lost one sacred unit to melee combat, but that's perfectly acceptable. Right, so another 3 successful expansions, and these my scout now here is giving me an accurate report and telling me that, well, they don't really have those many men, but we'll keep moving him forward and use this scout to replace him. Yeah, the weakened, I'm not too worried about this. It will affect him when he swaps into his Archmage form. He is only going to have 8 strength, which is very, very weak. But he doesn't need strength when he's in his Archmage form. only really when he's in his dragon form. And 20 strength is still plenty strong. We do have Dominion in this province, so I feel it would actually be just fine for him to try and clean these up. I think what I will do as well is improve Valadin's province defense to 10, just to give it a bit more of a fighting chance against any shamblers that show up. And the barbarians are pretty strong at melee combat, so against the Atlantian melee forces they might actually score a few kills before they rout, which would be very nice. I won't bother to increase Nom's defense, because if these Atlanteans push further south, they're just going to cut themselves off. So either way, they're just going to eventually meet their inevitable end. Now this force is full, but it might make a decent early siege force. I mean, they have war elephants; they should be able to crush Atlantean shamblers without any issues. This force, led by Narek, has plenty of soldiers left, in fact plenty enough that they should expand. Archers, militias, heavy infantry shouldn't have a problem against this, so he shall expand into it. This commander here, I may send him to Golem range to build a fortress next turn. I would like to get one built here sooner rather than later, or at least start building it in the first year. I will also need to send a wizard here to build the lab, but for now that's not a major priority. So let's make sure I will have enough gold to build a castle next turn. I have to spend my gold on... I mean, the most resource intensive unit I have is these goblin swordsmen, so I'll train them just to make sure I'm gold to resource efficient so that I can build the fortress next turn. And the Goblin Swordsmen, at least, what, they've got 10 protection on the body. It's not awful, and the broadsword means they actually hit pretty hard for a Goblin. So, yeah, I'm not disappointed training them over the Spearmen. Right, 50 Barbarians, probably a bit tough for this army. And 70 Wolf Tribe is probably a bit too tough for them as well, so what I'm thinking is I will move them back. To where is... I'm wondering if I can move them back to a province where I can recruit some... I could recruit them a war elephant, just to bulk their force up. That's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea at all. Yeah, the war elephant province is really going to be useful. It is going to cost me. I think I might need to save a bit more of my gold. So I'm going to save 200 gold. I'm not going to quite max recruit the units, but I want the gold to build a fortress. And I want the second level fortress because this is a very strong choke point, so the increased defense value means it will last whilst it's under siege longer, which may make all the difference. I mean, my capital is here, so I can reinforce it quite quickly, but all the same, if it hasn't got any natural defenders sitting inside of it, and an army comes over, and it was a palisade, they could break it down immediately, and then I wouldn't have a chance to reinforce it before it fell. Whereas with a fortress, it's almost impossible. Well, it's not impossible, but it would be a lot more difficult for them to break the castle walls down within arriving bit effectively. So yeah, I'll save that gold. I don't think I have much else to do. I have to move the scout onwards, but other than that, nope. Right, that's the end of this turn. Gonna keep trying to keep Mexico down. Go for a early rush kill with the fire dragon leading the charge. And other than that, continuing expansion, trying to build my forces up. We will need to combine them probably and send them to Mexico if we have any chance of winning. So yes, there you have it. We are now into late fall in the first year of the Ascension Wars, and our research and construction is complete. We'll view research, and yeah, we'll carry on doing construction research. The battle in Pustinia. where the arrow lure continues to do its job. Occasionally they are being hit. And we've got battle. Battle fright is quite bad. That could have triggered a rout on the bodyguard unit, and then the archers would have retargeted and started firing at my sacreds, who do not have shields and their armor is not very strong. So my sacreds actually die quite quickly to arrow fire. The only thing that really is their saving grace in that respect is the fact that they're small, so they're quite hard to hit. But a horde of them is very easy to hit with ranged weapons. Anyway, I was going to mention, because it is full, as you can see, they only have 6 hit points, which is pretty bad. That's the pygmies level of hit points. It's very, very weak. So it's not a good idea really to be using my sacreds during full, but I positioned them in such a way that they got the first strike, and luckily managed to rout all of the units they did engage. So yeah, that went just fine. It appears the Atlantians attacked us in Valadon, so I have my god and all of these barbarians, so this should be a guaranteed win, and we should get a couple more, important kills on their units. In fact, the barbarians are doing a solid job. Hopefully they don't rout immediately. No, they didn't. In fact, they're just going to chop their way through a few more Atlantians. Wow, they're actually doing a number on them. Those barbarians are nothing to mess with. And the dragon can just finish them off with a very little issue. And he set them on fire. Oh, he did get smote though, and he's now profusely bleeding. Hopefully, being smote over and over again doesn't cause him to die. No, I believe he is about to just mop up. Yes, just mopped up. The weakened is, as you can see, it's not really stopping him from killing everything that he desires to kill. So again, another pretty strong victory. We didn't manage to kill their commander, that prophet. However, he is now stuck there on his own. The army consists of mainly heroes. Well, they got a few heroes here. Sure. Let's just go and get rid of them. Now I'm not sure where these shamblers are going to go. And whilst I would very much like to start building my fortress, I am also very tempted as well to just boost the province defense, because these barbarians did quite a solid job on those killing those Atlantians. So I may put a few more points of gold into these provinces. I think I'm going to have this commander actually wait where he is and just patrol, because if they decide to attack into here, I think we can win. Although the barbarians are very strong in the melee, so they can actually deal with these shamblers. I feel the province defense here is lacking, so I would like the army to be there just to back them up with some war elephants. In fact, I should probably script these guys properly, because they weren't even properly scripted. Let's set the archers over here and our main melee line. If I'm relying on province defense, I actually want to put them down here. No, actually, I'll put them in front of the archers, just in case of flanking. But the province defense should draw most of the fire away from my main ranks of units. They should be fine. In fact, I will put my commander up here as well, just so he doesn't get attacked by cavalry or something. So he's just going to patrol there. Solv is going to just attack Usid Yazran again. Hopefully this time it actually allows him to, and he isn't stopped by more Atlantians coming in to ruin his day. We met Lunawatian Illithid Knights. Interesting, right, okay. Well, I definitely want to boost the province defense here to 10 temporarily, just to hopefully keep them away from our lands, whilst I deal with these Atlantians over here. Atlantians and Illithids, and then Foul Spawn. We have very interesting neighbours. Very interesting neighbours. But interesting neighbours means useful to conquer. They should provide us with some equally interesting units, or at least magic sites. Magic sites would always be nice. Now this army I think will be fine to take on these heavy cav, heavy infantry, because these spearmen here will basically act as lance catchers. However, I am going to set my infantry to attack enemy cavalry, so they focus on killing the enemy heavy cavalry here. If I set them to on attack closest, then they decide to attack the enemy heavy infantry, and the enemy cavalry kill my spearmen when they're here, and then decide, oh, we'll just go kill the commander, and my army could rout. So I'll try force the sacreds to engage the heavy cavalry. That would be a good idea. This army, it's picked up the elephant. It could go pick up these 2 sacred units here. And it's just 2 sacred units. I'll probably just give them to this commander and set him to patrol, just so he can see if he can catch some unawares scouts that try to move through our borders. It's not an actual impressive force at all, but hey ho, what can you do? I don't really want to recruit the Lion Tribe. I mean, the Lion Tribe archers, again, they fill the same role as my Goblin archers, except they have even less protection, and they're undisciplined, with even less morale. So, aside from doing the same job as my archers, they do it worse. They do. I mean, they're not worse archers per se, but they are worse soldiers. So we won't be training them. Wouldn't be a bad idea to pick up more elephants, but I want to save some gold. Start saving gold to build this fortress or get it going. I will be able to get it going next turn, for sure. But for now, let us keep recruiting these low-level wizards, more sacreds, and this army could do with... I could do with bolstering their archers up, given that we have quite a lot of sacreds, spearmen, colossi, spearmen, more swordsmen and sacreds. Yeah, I believe getting a batch of archers here is probably a good idea. Could bring my prophet's army up to 45 archers, and I have roughly, what, there's another 2 up to 47 archers and 38 plus, so we have 48 men, including a war elephant. We have almost 100 goblins already, and we could march them north towards the Atlantians, which are looking at 20 units. We already have 40 men here, plus 2 war elephants. We have our dragon god as well. We should have no problem absolutely overrunning these Atlantians and seizing their castle from them, thus giving us an early advantage, because we will have both a castle in the west and in the east. I mean, this isn't on the choke point, but I could always build another castle here. And this, being a wasteland, has low resources, or not resources, low supplies, which means sieging it will cause the besieging force to take a lot of disease, unless they bring adequate magical items that provide supply limit. Yeah, so overall, let's move these. What other commanders have I got to move? This scout can just carry on doing his thing. This scout in Mexico, he can wait here. I would like to keep an eye on that, just make sure I have reports of their units. And I think these goblins can head back to pick up more soldiers. They can't really expand, they don't have enough men. This army is free to continue expanding for now. We haven't really picked up any provinces that I particularly want to train men from. That's fine, yeah. Alright, bolstered our borders against everyone that we need to. Good, good. And we can build a castle next turn. Right. Well, that was fall of the first year of the Ascension Wars as Saltnohamn. And I'll leave it there. Next time, it will be winter the first year, and after that I may do a conclusion video, one for each year of the game, just to roughly summarize everything that happened, maybe point out some notable things. The first year of the game obviously is just early expansion, but the early aggression against the Atlantians, quite opportunistic of me, but I mean, when you see your opponent doesn't have an awake god and you have an awake super combatant, it's a good idea. I mean, just seize their provinces before they can build up a force, and then start sieging them so they can't even research and they can't even conjure units to protect their castle. So it's just a free victory as long as my dragon can carry on making the difference and turning the tide. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you for the next video. See ya.